Hello students, Miss Lockhart here. We are going to draw the spooky haunted house. Have your paper vertical or tall. And I'm using a black marker. Please use a pencil first. And I drew a curved line at the bottom of the page, the hill the house will reside on. And now for the sides of the house. Notice these lines are curved. We're going to do the top line of the house first. Follow my move. So I almost drew a triangle on the top. Notice on the left there's that little bit that comes over, the little lip that comes over. Now I'm going to bring that line inward on the right and up with a curve and horizontal, straight horizontal. Up again to make a point so we can have another triangular topped tower. And see there, I'm going a diagonal again and another triangle up at the top there. And it's okay if yours looks different, of course. You can add more towers with those pointed triangular tops. And now I'm going to fill in the space with spooky windows. It's just a square with a vertical line and then a horizontal line. And you can really decide how many windows and really what shape you want your windows. And that little trail I did in the front is going to be really good too. And there's a door, again, any shaped door you want. I'm going to draw like a little sort of like a patio over here with an awning. Okay, and I'm going to add these fun curved lines that become spirals almost, and at the top there, two more curves, and then two more. Gives it that very old style. Okay, now I'm gonna do more windows. Notice I am not worrying if my windows are perfectly symmetrical because it's more fun when they're a little crooked. And here's another window. The house has a lot of character. It's gonna be really fun to color in. So that is basically it for the drawing. We're going to do some details as well, but now I'm going to go ahead and try to color in my house black because it is the silhouette of the house, which means you don't see all the details on the front of the house because it's lit from behind. So the front does not have any light on it. Now you'll see I'm having some issues with my black marker. That's okay. I'll grab another marker as soon as this one doesn't work. And also it helps to put your markers aside if they start to seem like they're drying out, and just put the lid back on them for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and try it again, and you'll see that the ink usually comes back and then the marker will work as new. So I set that black marker aside, and I'm going to go ahead and use a yellow and the windows to represent light, maybe candlelight. Okay. Can't forget the door window. Now maybe you want to add things like some sort of lantern outside or whatever. You can add your own fun details. Now this is going to be a bat. Notice these steps. And then it's almost a point at the bottom. Curves, lots of curves that connect. Now I do have a separate video in the choice board that is all about drawing a bat that I would love for you to look back at to review how to draw a bat if you had a hard time with the one we just did. And you can also pause the video and just look at each step at a time. You'll see here I'm doing a pumpkin. There are all kinds of fun things you can add. You can make it your own and add your own details. Maybe there's a spooky tree. Maybe there's just a bunch of bats everywhere. I'm going to hang a pumpkin from here. Why not? So definitely have fun. I encourage you to create your own designs. Put a little chimney up there. And now for the fun cat with the arched back. So you can see I've done a few curved lines. The first one was the legs, and the one above it is the back. And then the little head 2 ears, and a curly tail. Okay, there's our scared cat at the top. It's also a silhouette, so you can't see the eyes. I'm gonna color that in black. Gotta color in the back too. The background is actually gonna be a darker color, and then we'll have a moon that'll be shining light too, so it'll look really pretty when everything's colored in. Oh, and here's the moon. I'm going to do a crescent moon. You could do a full moon or a half moon. Now I'm going to start to really try to fill in all of these shapes and these things that I've drawn. Gotta make them black because they're silhouettes. And I'm going to leave the little eyes in the pumpkin so that I can color that yellow to look like there's light coming from inside. Now, you've probably already realized that you can use a black color pencil or crayon to fill it in if you don't have a marker. Okay, that's the last pumpkin. Now, what else? Oh yeah, I'll definitely want a spider web in this house on the roof. So you can see how I'm doing the spider web just like in the other video that I have in the choice board. But I have a bunch of lines that intersect in the middle. I start to do curved lines, and then I just move those curved lines outward and outward so that it almost becomes a pattern. It's really pretty. There's a spider web. Please review the other video or pause it between those steps so you can really get a good idea of how to draw that spider web. And now I'm going to put a spider. So I want to make an oval body and 8 legs, four on each side. And my marker is working a lot better now. Great. You can see I just set it aside for a few minutes. Oh well, it's kind of running out. Maybe it's just time for me to use another marker. I kind of like how it creates more of a texture, but I'm going to go ahead and grab a marker that works. You never know when your marker's it's just finished. But I definitely need to fill it all in black so that it is a silhouette. Oh, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use this side for the door because I do like that texture. You see how it's a lighter, kind of a grayish color on the door? Now I have a different marker. I'm going to go ahead and color in the house. You'll see that I've sped up the video just a little bit because at this point you'll be coloring at your own pace. You'll be filling it in black at your own pace, and you can pause the video, give yourself 5 or 10 minutes to fill it in. drawing. So I have filled in most of the house to make it look like a silhouette. I'm gonna make sure that moon has some yellow on it. And can't forget the little pumpkin's eyes and mouth. Okay, we're gonna start on the background soon. Now the goal is to color it in a color that's a little bit darker. So you can do blue, purple, you could even do green. That would be spooky. And I'm gonna start with a light layer with color pencil, but you can use anything you have. You can use markers or crayons or color pencils. I'm actually going to use both colored pencils and markers. I like to do this thing where I put markers over colored pencils, and then you can see a really cool texture underneath. And you'll see in the final artwork what it looks like, what I'm talking about. But I'm going to start with this purple colored pencil, do my best to fill in all that white space. It's time to do the hill. I'm gonna do that green with the green colored pencil, and then you'll see in my final drawing that I put markers over it to fill in all the little white space. You could also just keep coloring it and using a harder pressure to fill in the white space also if you don't have markers. Same with the crayons. If you press down hard, it'll be nice and opaque, which means you don't see through it. Or you can try the marker trick and go over colored pencils with a marker. But it is a night scene, so we don't want too much white paper coming through. I also put a different shade of purple right next to the outline, the outside of the house, just to give it a fun extra color gradient. It's a little darker near that dark house. And you'll see it in just a moment. Oh, but I definitely want to add one more detail here, this spider web in the window. You can also add your own details. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. And here it is. Here is my final drawing with my markers over the colored pencils. And you can see I added that darker colored pencil near the outside of the house to make the house kind of look like it's dark. And that is it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your spooky haunted house drawing. And I have a fun visitor who would like to say hello in just a moment.